So climate change is a really big issue. If you step back and take a look at the bigger picture of climate change, it is pretty concerning. And we face somewhat a paradox, really. On the one hand, we've got records being broken, the WMO saying we've reached 1.5 in this last year. We've breached the Paris Agreement temporarily. We're reaching records we've not seen before. So climate change is continuing at quite a quick pace, and the rates of it is very concerning to scientists. We've got extreme weather events all around the world happening more and more. These are attributed to human influence. It's clear now, we know that. And we've also got lots of solutions in place. Renewables are getting taken up at scale. The prices are coming down. However, on the other hand, even with all this knowledge of this climate emergency and knowing what we know as scientists, it is important that we take up these solutions. However, it's not going at the rate we'd like. The mitigation is pretty slow. It's a very difficult political context. The US have pulled out of Paris agreements for a second time. So it can be really disheartening for people working in the sector and seeing the changes not happening that we need to make to be able to reduce these kind of extreme events and the warming that we're seeing.
We all feel that too, and to our current students and to anyone who's interested or who cares about this issue, I think we just say, come and be with a community of other people who also care about climate change and who want to make this the focus of their careers. And, the strength in numbers. So this is a kind of community and a group of students who want to learn more and who want to kind of often commit their careers to working on climate development issues. And we're stronger together. Yeah, sure. And, we kind of ask ourselves that question of how does that benefit our students? And I think there's three things which are fantastic about this course. So firstly, it's a super interdisciplinary course. It's taught across 3 different institutions. And that really kind of allows us to have this, an approach where we recognize there's no one size fits all solution to climate change. Our students are able to kind of specialize in different areas of this kind of broader multifaceted issue. All of them get a good grounding in the physical science basis of climate change through a module we teach in autumn term, but then they can go on to specialize, whether that's on the kind of economic and policy dimensions or the equity and justice and development dimensions of climate change. So that's a real strength of the course. Secondly, we have really research-led teaching. The University of Sussex, because of being number 1 in the world, we have just a hive of activity of different academics and scholars working on different aspects of climate and development. We have just so many different public seminars and debates and workshops and open lectures happening all the time that can keep our students super busy if they were to go to all of them. And then finally, for our particular course especially, it's the students themselves. We always say that that makes it such a special master's degree. Very often they're coming from really established professional careers working on climate and development. And it's a super international cohort. We have students from dozens of different countries, and they can really sort of like bring that experience that they have into our seminars and into discussions that we have with them. And, we learn a lot from them and they learn a lot from each other. And that kind of really adds to the experience.
So it's really a mix of theory and practice in either places in the climate science, the different ways we can reduce emissions and mitigate, but also how we can adapt and tackle the many impacts of climate change. I think we have sort of modules that speaks to each of those aspects, and particularly, as was mentioned, the development link is very strong. We have modules on climate resilience and development and adaptation and development and low carbon development and energy policy. But beyond the sort of the theory and knowledge that we can get, we also want to emphasize the kind of critical mindset, because this is such a big field and it can be quite overwhelming to navigate. And I think that sort of critical mindset that you need to have is very, very core to what we try to teach here. And then finally, we do kind of teach then practical knowledge and methods that we could use in real life, real world, so to speak, after we've finished here. Climate risk management tools, GIS, modeling tools, and things like that. And I think the testament to that, over the 15 years now the course has been running, we have people in all corners of the world, in all sorts of different organizations, think tanks, UN organizations, international organizations of various kinds, Red Cross, and the private sector, also people going on to do further degrees, PhDs, and so we have really a range of different careers that's coming out of this. And I think it's important that you come out of this with this course with knowledge, skills, but also a sort of confidence to be able to engage with this enormous area. And I think also that it's easy to be quite sort of pessimistic about the future. I think it's really hard to keep that optimism and hope. And I think what we try to do is also to bring that kind of realism, but also the hope that things can change, and equip then the students with the tools and methods to be able to kind of see where change can happen, and it can happen. And I think that's important to keep on.